Unmanaged equipment can leave an organization vulnerable to various cyber attacks. Today, I'm talking to Simon Clark from FortNet UK about document management as we review the top 10 cybersecurity threats for 2022. Welcome to the show, Simon.
Hey, Elias, nice to see you again.
Simon, always great to have you. But document management, can you help expand on this threat to our listeners?
Yes. So in the past, Elias, we've talked about network assessments, which gives you a whole heap of very useful visibility information about your infrastructure and all the computers that you've got on your network. And then guess what? That comes out in Excel spreadsheets and Word documents, and then that'll get shared around your organization, and various bits of it will get shared on different people's computers. And then it's out of date. And then you've got to try and find where the most up-to-date version is and who's got it and which machine is it on and are they working today. So by putting all of that into one place, then you're assured that everybody has access to the most up-to-date information in a secure format as well. So there's no longer on somebody's machine where if it gets stolen or worse still a cyber attack on it, that cyber attackers could potentially get all that wealth of information about your infrastructure, which is a great way for them to then formulate an attack on you.
Okay, so people can formulate attack on you because they're going to find this information. So I'm going to ask a dumb question here. Why is it so important to know your IT infrastructure inside out?
Well, we've talked about this in the past, Elias, about patching and vulnerabilities and people leaving, just the whole security side of stuff. Visibility is key. But where do you keep that visibility? And when you've got all that information, all that wealth of information about every single machine you've got and who owns it and what applications are running on it and what the operating system is, you know whether it needs patching and what needs to be done to it. But more importantly, now your entire IT team and security team can potentially have access to that information and know that it's up to date.
So your IT team, they're one of the beneficiaries of knowing this. Who else could be a beneficiary to know this information?
Well, the whole company benefits from this approach because if you have a disaster, so let's assume, ignoring cyber threats for the moment, let's assume you have a disaster where the building floods and all your equipment gets ruined. How quickly can you recover from a devastating incident like that? If all your data is in one place, you've no longer got to say, right, well, that Excel spreadsheet over there's got those configurations, and that machine over there's got all the warranty agreements, and that machine over there's got all the quotes and the POs and all the supplier names. It's all in one place. So now you can bring in a SWAT team, if you will, to help you recover all of that information, and it's all in one place.
That makes more sense now, because if I think of an environment like here in New Zealand, we are prone for potentially earthquakes or, a tsunami. So when you have literally those big threats that can devastate your business, your ability to then quickly reset, figure out where you're at becomes a lot easier. I get that. So if you were to look at doing a review, what would you recommend your clients do to help them make sure that they're on top of this?
Well, the first thing would be, if you have a network assessment, all that wealth of information can be ported into a documentation platform, and it's secure as well. So you need multi-factor authentication to get to it. You can allocate who has access to what data. Now, if you start thinking about what's the board concerned about, the board is concerned about things like audits. What happens when an outside auditor comes in to look at your system? What happens if they're having a merger and an acquisition? How do they then present their business to the acquiring company? All of this is about saving money. The quicker you can deliver an audit, the less expensive it is to you as an organization. So if you then push that onto the IT side of things, the IT directors got all of that information in one place. IT people apparently are inherently difficult to retain. They move around and they're expensive people. What happens when someone leaves? Well, suddenly that machine that they had with that Excel spreadsheet on it has just gone because they've decided to delete it. You've got a new person coming in. They're going to say, well, where's all the data? If you can get that new person up and running and productive straight away, look, here's access to all of that data. They're productive so much quicker. You're saving money and time. And I've got a whole load of other things as well to talk about. Things like easier management. And if you can integrate that sort of information into some of your other IT tools, ticketing tools, and maybe into your security operations center, which is another topic we've talked about in the past, Elias, then you're getting a very, very slick machine.
So here's a phrase that I heard somebody talk to us about recently. He said, so are you a professional body or are you just a club? And I suppose it's the same sort of philosophy. If you want to be professional about this, you might as well do it right. Don't leave things higgledy-piggledy here and there on the spreadsheets, things like that. Have something centralized, something that is accessible, and something that you can professionally turn around, hand on heart, and say, we know the answer to this problem.
Yeah, you're right. And actually, a lot of companies are now moving towards a governance, regulatory, and compliance model. And this is your first steps into moving towards that kind of thing. And actually, you know what? Another session we'll have on cyber insurance. If you want to negotiate either a lower premium or better cover, if you can demonstrate this sort of stuff to your insurance broker, you stand a much better chance of getting a better deal.
Superb. I like that. Anything about a better deal is a good thing for a business owner. So Simon, if people want to get hold of you, what's the best way to get hold of you?
We have a website, fortnet.co.uk, and on that is a contact page. And you can ring us, you can email us, and you can even book a calendar slot, and we'll happily give you a complimentary session to discuss any of your concerns about cybersecurity, document management, or anything else.
Fantastic. Looking forward to catching up with you at another point in time. Thanks for your time this morning, Simon.